Hello everybody, and thank you for coming back to the channel. In this chapter, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you through the different models that I've started to build and how I'm growing in complexity and in learning. And this is basically what the lockdown does, that you have to find other hobbies and other activities. So this is a bit of my story. So the first model that I did in this, let's say, phase is this one. I had done some Balsa models in the past when I was a child, but that was easy 20-30 years ago, I don't know how long ago. So I wanted to start up again. So the first thing I did was to get a relatively simple model and to build it up. This is just a glider. It's relatively easy, made out of balsa and tissue, and it went together quite well. And actually it still flies very well. Actually, if a gust of wind takes it, it does take it up very well. Also, one thing, don't be distracted by the background. I don't have too much space in my room, so I'm using just the normal desk that I'm using. So don't be distracted by the current project that's going on. So after I did the glider, I went to a more powerful model. So I bought this, which is a Stunt Flyer from Willows. And it had me also a little bit of putting together, let's say, a 3D wing, a bit of the structure there. Also relatively simple, fun to fly. Had some problems with it flying, had to fix it a couple of times, which is also part of it. So this is also a nice stepping. It's a toy, it's for children evidently, but I'm a child, so I like playing around with these things. So that was my second model, and again, scaling up a little bit on the complexity and getting an engine on it, even if it's a rubber powered one. Then the next one, which gets even more complex, was this one. This is a Prague Air Baby. I'll put the link down in the notes to the plans. It's purely made from the plans, so it's not a kit. Even the propeller, as you can see, it's a wooden propeller or an air screw. And I made it very much out of the remains and the surplus wood from the other two models. So I just reused a lot of the pieces there. The wheels are made of wood, don't know if you can see, they don't really roll. But this was, again, a first complex mechanism, very small, so fidgety. Had to have a lot of patience. It does fly, it does tend to stall on the left, and it has fallen a couple of times. I had a couple of bad hits, so it's crooked. Like it still will fly a little bit, but it's not really the best flyer. But good as a learning base. I really enjoyed it, and it's honestly the first serious model, even if it's a peanut scale Prague Air Baby, with the Swiss signs as it was in the plans. I then wanted to up the game and get into more complex things, so I got a kit which is the Guillows Arrow. Now this is a huge one, it doesn't fit, and again it was even more complicated, multiple dihedrals. It's the first time that I ran into serious problems of warping on the wings when putting the tissue and stretching. So I had to undo and redo the tissue a couple of times. A nice model, and a lot of videos on YouTube also about it. I've flown it maybe once or twice and I crashed it, so I had to fix it again. I'm waiting for better weather and it can't be wet, to see if I can fly it again. So really enjoyable. It did take its time, but also for sure learning not only about the structure but also the tissue covering, with good and bad experience on it. And it has a more powerful engine, of course, like it's rubber powered still, all rubber powered for the moment. If you manage to turn it, then in theory it should fly quite a long time. It's crooked everywhere, but we'll see how it flies whenever I manage to get it up into the air again. Again, very good learning phase, and actually it should be able to fly very well. There are also some very nice videos on YouTube about converting these to RC, so if one is looking for a platform for that, I think this can be good. And I went into twin engine, rubber powered Bristol Bro Fighter. This one is it's very personal to me, because I remember when I was small I came across the plans for this model and I wanted to make it, and it was too complicated still, and I really wanted to focus on this one, and it's actually the reason why I got into it. I wanted to finally get it done. So I did make it. It is much more complicated, the wing structure is much more elaborate, the the engine cowling, these are round pieces of wood. Actually it's flat wood that I had to make wet and twist and bend, which was good. It's a good experience. Overall I don't think it'll ever fly. One of the rubber motors is already broken, and the other one will turn, but I don't think it'll ever have enough power to make it fly. But a very good learning base. I really like this one, but I might have to redo it when I have a bit more experience. Try to redo it, and who knows, maybe at some point put in some electric power in it. I don't know. But this one, very nice. It looks more complicated than it is. It's small, fidgety, but really a nice model. And the Bro Fighter is a historical aeroplane, if anybody knows it. Really nice model, and very small, which is also good because you can make several of these and they don't take up so much space as the other ones, that some of them are really huge. Then, having the next challenge in mind, I decided to download a plan for, I think this is the Andreas BA40. It's a biplane, rubber powered. This one does fly very well. I have to admit that it's one of the best ones that flies. Okay, not very well, like made by me, but it does fly, and I have tried it, and I have broken it a couple of times already and re-glued it together. You see here I still have to put the tissue back together again. But this one was also nice, small size, and a biplane. I wanted to get into the biplane area because it was a whole new area. It's not so easy as it might look to make the wings actually be kind of parallel, but also a very nice model that I do recommend. Again, small, so it doesn't take up too much space, as the arrow actually takes up a lot of space. But this one, it's also a nice one. I don't ever have any footage of it flying. I'll try to put something in if I find it, but also one that I would recommend. Again, just based from the plans, with balsa sticks and balsa planking to get it up in the air. This is a nice one. I like playing with this one. And then what I would say is still like the crown jewel of my collection is the Gloucester Gladiator that I put together. A lot of work, a lot of different stress. This one is designed and has an electric engine, and a battery goes in, and it does seem to work, but I've never flown it. I haven't really finished, let's say, with the decorations, and I'm not sure if I ever will, because this is why I'm coming across the situation that I've put so much work and effort into it, and I know that if I throw it up in the air, it might be the last time that happens. So psychologically I'm a little bit scared of throwing this one up in the air. It does have everything. It should work. It's not completely crooked, it's not completely straight either, but I think it would be able to fly. But I still have to hone my own piloting skills. So I think I put something like 65 hours of work into it, and it's really like the crown jewel. I really like it, and I'm afraid of throwing it up in the air, but I hope that at some point I do get the confidence in my flying abilities to do it. In terms of electronics, so far what I'm using is the replacement parts, and I don't think you can see them from here. The replacement parts for the P51 Mustang, the ESC, the small microelectronics. Then I save on the transmitter and things like that. So at some point I hope I can get this one to actually fly. It's got all the control surfaces. They do move. If they move enough or not, I'm not sure, but they do move. The rudder, elevator and the ailerons. This one, as I say, over 60 hours, that might come crashing down in like 5 seconds. So a little bit apprehensive about that one. So before I decided to fly that. Before I fly that one, I decided then to try to make another one that won't hurt so much if it crashes so fast. So I put together then the Willows Spitfire. This one, I'll put the link somewhere to the playlist with all the videos of the preparation. The propeller is the same, so I can change the propeller over, then you see how it look like. In theory, again, things move, the surfaces move, it should fly. In terms of work, it's maybe half the work. I can't remember now how many, maybe 25 hours, 30 hours of work. It's half the work of the Gladiator. And this one is the one that I probably, if it flies, it will be the first one that I build and manages to fly. So I still have to do maybe some fixing up, maybe gluing some parts. I'm a bit worried because the elevator moves, but I'm not sure if it moves enough. But again, the electronics work, the propeller turns if I have it connected and everything, so that's going to be then the next one. And it does look actually quite nice. Like, it does not look as perfect as the other ones that you'll see probably on internet, on YouTube, but at least for my level, I think it looks quite fancy with the camouflage and all that. So that is hopefully the one that I will manage to fly at some point, and if it crashes, as I'm sure it will, it won't be as painful to see it crash and die as with the Gladiator. So we'll see. At the moment I'm still practicing my flying skills on the Mustang, which is made out of foam, so I crash it, and even if things do break off, it can still fly again. I'm sure if this one gets a bad crash, one single bad crash, and it's over for good. Same with the Gladiator, so that's why I'm a bit apprehensive about that one, but it'll get there. So far those are the ones that I've got completed, and the ones that you see here, this is the Mosquito. There's another playlist that I have there showing how I'm building the Mosquito. I really much fear it's going to be a little bit like the Gladiator. In terms of hours, I've already spent on the Mosquito more than I've spent on the whole Spitfire, so I'm not sure if I'll be daring to throw it up in the air, but it's fun to build it at least. But if it all goes well, it will also fly, and it'll be interesting to see it fly. And let's see, I'm already thinking of the next project. That somehow I noticed that whenever I'm on one project, I'm already trying to think of the next, and I'm alternating them between kits and easy and complicated. So the Spitfire was supposed to be easy. It wasn't so easy, especially the electronics. Now I'm on the Mosquito, which is much more complicated. Next one, I'm not sure, maybe I'll get another kit, who knows, the TBF or the Hurricane. I'm not sure what I'll do there, but I still have quite a lot of work to do on the Mosquito, so we'll see how it goes. So that's it for the moment. So thank you everybody for watching. Quite a long video, I'm afraid. I wanted to do this also as a diary for myself, that I remember what are the models that I'm putting together, because at some point I'll be forgetting it. And for sure, leave your comments if you have anything to comment, if you have anything to recommend about learning how to make these things and how to fly them without killing them and destroying them. That would be very welcome. So thank you once again everybody, and see you in the next video.